Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the ACI Motorsports GT3 Cup Challenge here at VIR, Virginia International Raceway. I'm Austin Knight. I am joined by Alessandro Dallanone with Dennis Branch up there in the production booth. Alessandro, welcome to the great old VIR. I know you were doing some laps here earlier. How are you feeling about this track and these cars?
Well, it's definitely, Austin, one of the toughest tracks we've been so far, because this is such a fast-flowing track that this car is gonna be very, very tricky to handle. And even though I am a bit disappointed to not see the grand layout, I bet the drivers will be definitely much happier than me, because it's very, very tricky.
Yeah, we're using the quote Grand Prix layout, not the full layout that is almost always open here at one of the best motorsports resorts here in America. But the Grand Prix layout is very fun, very competitive. It's got that long straight on the back straight after Old Oak Tree Bend, and then that opening sectors with those switchbacks and S's. Oh, I can't wait for more of this wonderful racing as we are halfway through qualifying. And we're looking at Randall Bryant right now. He's coming through the S's, the first snakes. And now it's up to the big S's as you go up this hill. The car sometimes gets airborne if you ride this curve too hard before this kink right here. And then it's just a giant drop off the hill. And it's a double right-hander onto Old Oak Tree Bend. And iRacing has the oak tree right there. Then it's that long straight that I was talking about. And sometimes this is the start-finish line, but it's never the primary start-finish line. As you go over this crest, keep on going forward, avoiding the turn off into the inside road course, then onto a roller coaster. And that corner is so hard and wild to get right. It's a left turn followed by a right-hander. Going downhill, camber change. Let's finish off the lap with Alessandro and Rob Ferroyo.
Ferriol, yes. Tough name to pronounce for you guys, I guess. But yeah, let's see if Rob gets this corner right. As you can see here, he took definitely a different approach, and now he's gonna navigate through the last few corners, which are very, very tough. I feel like this last sector is one of the toughest places I ever driven a car on. It's always very difficult. And overall, VIR, maybe because it's not a track that we are used to see a lot in our official races, I'm sure is one of the most challenging tracks we have seen here on iRacing. I feel the drivers are gonna be very, very competitive though here, even if we see a lot of gap between the top 4 drivers, 5 drivers, and the rest of the field. But the slipstream on the long straight is gonna be definitely very important. And here, as you see,
On the track.
going off the track, the 007 car, also making zero mistake is gonna be key, as we've seen also in the last few rounds where we've seen a lot of carnage, Austin.
Yeah, carnage has pretty much been a mainstay of this series early on and then throughout the race. And early on in this race, turn one, very high damage has always been happening there. So it's just a massive hairpin. And then you got the two NASCAR corners as we see Lynn Tran heading into roller coaster a little bit wide out there. And as he heads into Mud Pit right now, drop down into the final corner. There he goes. And I driven here in a very small car, very little downforce on it. It was a Skippy. So this track handles completely differently in whatever car you're in. The GT cars, they have the most fun here because it's not fully planted onto the ground and they do slide a lot. And here's that treacherous turn one. Very narrow exit and entry. But the battles throughout the midfield are going to be amazing to watch here. Then coming into the NASCAR turns. Gotta watch your entry speed or else it's going to go off just like that. Then your re-entry You do not want to switch back across track, especially on the opening laps, and that will cause a massive incident. And now we switched over to Alan Metney as he goes off track as he heads into Snake.
We are now on Tom Kerr in the 74, the only driver still to complete his qualifying laps. He took a very slow out lap, and now he's trying to build up still some temperature. I feel like he's still going slowly, and for sure he's gonna try to get a time in maybe next time by. We'll keep our cameras on him as he is the only driver still to be scoring a lap in this qualifying session, which is seeing Riley Dickinson in the 53 car up front in front of Elio Skier by 2/10, and championship leader Eric Foss in the 28, almost 7/10 back, but we've seen Austin that Eric Foss is never giving up, and through racecraft is always emerging as a top-notch driver in this series.
Yes, indeed. As Tom Kerr comes across the line to start his qualifying lap with 2 minutes to go. He should be, oh, nope, that is going to be not counted because he's gone way off the track and got caught off in the green. Just in the green, not very good out there. We have Dan Hardy going out for a lap right now, but I do not believe he's going to be able to finish qualifying. Dan is in the 069 car. Few other cars out on track, Lynn Tran and David Smith. And here's Dan. He's coming across the line right now, so he's going to start his flying lap with 20 seconds to go. So I believe when he comes across the line next, the session should be over. Or did
Yeah,
he leave
just
a little bit too late?
trying to get still an extra few laps of practice and be
Oh,
warm for the start as
and
we now
there he goes.
transfer to the race session. Austin, time to go through the grid.
Starting up on pole, it is Riley Dickinson, followed by Elliott Skier, Eric Foss, Randall Bryant, Kurt Hunt, Rob Ferriol, Austin the Superman himself, Henry, David Moore, David Madden, Richard Edge, Kurt Swearigan, Grant Talkie, and 12th place. They're followed by Clifton Lipple, Alan Metney, Lynn Tran, Dimitri Kellner, David Smith, Michael Manella, James Thursbury, Patrick Wilmot, Efren Castro, Tom Kerr, Bart Collins, with Dan Hardy at the back of the 24 car grid for the ACI Motorsports GT3 Cup Challenge.
Yeah, now we are gonna have a full lap of pacing. Everybody following the iRacing Porsche safety car, pace car. It's gonna be a long lap, Austin. Plenty of time to warm up the tires.
Plenty of time to warm up the tires, kick back, read a book, or some fun facts about Virginia International Raceway.
Oh yeah, I bet you, Austin, know plenty of them. It's such a historical venue, so nice to drive. It's a track for us Europeans is not really well perceived because it's such a different track from any kind of racetracks we find in Europe or also in the US. But I really like it because it's unique, and the grand layout, the full proper full layout is exceptional. Oh, I see Eric Foss back to pit road.
Yeah, Foss jumped into the pits. I guess he just wanted to sit back or something. But as the pace lap gets going, let's go. and take a little trip down memory lane back to 1957. In August 3, the track originally opened and was created by a group of men using a bulldozer. The track has been closed from 1974 prior to its reopening in March 2000. The track was reopened uh, by New Yorker Harvey Seigel and Connie Neum using a country club model. Memberships to the track are sold. Each member of the VIR club receives track time on member days, tickets to all spectator events, and other benefits. VIR membership model has since been followed by other racetracks across the United States. The track has hosted the SCCA National Sports Car Championship from its opening in 1957, the IMSA GT Championship, AMA Superbike Championship, the Rolex Sports Car Series, the American Le Mans Series, and the track record is set by Klaus Graf driving the Muscle Milk LMP1 car. Carroll Shelby won the very first race in a Maserati 450S in August 1957. Another well-listed drivers who raced at VIR during its first races was Richard Petty, Brace Cunningham, Roger Penske, Mark Dunhu, Bob Holber, Augie Pabst, Chris Turner, Dick Thompson, Peter Rivson, Wendell Scott, Bob Toulis, Jack Garnett, Skip Barber, Ricky Rudd, Gene Felton, Denise McColgan, Harvey Haywood, Brock Yates, Don Ito, Gance Retwood, Dan Gurney, and Parnelli Jones, to list some of the numerous names that have won here. We haven't even made it way halfway through this race, through this opening lap.
Oh yeah, now we have the long backstretch that we will definitely see a lot of action on during this race, because if you get a very good exit here, you can easily try to pass your opponents here up the hill, but we're gonna see also a lot of mistakes, I guess, in the corner which we are approaching in a few moments time, because this has always been a trouble spot, and this car, if you just miss your braking point by a tiny bit, you have not many chance to survive. You are essentially a passenger, Austin.
You're absolutely right, because this corner you're coming up to is just passenger, especially if you go off. You're on the grass, and these tires and grass, not the best mix, and you'll just go flying off. As we have 2 corners to go. Poor Sidgard leads them into Mud Pit. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go for another ride for the ACI GT3 Cup Challenge, as the Reds are rising and the heartbeats are rising as well, because we're going green flag racing here at VIR.
Great style by Dickinson, defending on the inside now, making sure he doesn't get surprised here, entering turn 1 side by side, but he makes his stick. Now he's gonna try to do his best to already establish a gap before he will be on the backstretch. Seems to be pretty clean also in the midfield also.
Oh, well, as you said that, we got a car off. That is Grant talking, Kurt Swerk and Metney involved, as well as Richard Edge. 4 cars involved in there and gone off in NASCAR 1.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate. As I said, it was alright. We had a few hiccups in the midfield. But Elios Kier already looking to set the pace and pass Dickinson for the lead of the race. Dickinson has always been very fast in all events, but he always had some issues midway through. And
oh no, it's Skier and Dickinson both go off in Oak Tree, and now we have a new leader of Kurt Hunt, Randall Bright, Austin Henry, Rob Ferriol, and David Madden. Our new top 5 here at VIR. What has happened? That is so unfortunate for our 2 leaders, Dickinson and Skier.
Man, what a mistake for both
Oh
drivers.
my! Is that David Moore?
Yeah, David Moore, I think he went a bit wide there, and he's losing a lot of positions. What an eventful lap. VAR never disappoints.
It is so tricky to get this lap right, and what we were saying at the start of this race, consistency and being safe is key here, as Kurt Hunt has dropped up 4 positions to take the lead, but he's being pressured by Randall Bryant, who's under pressure from the Superman himself, Austin Henry, who is pushing it down to the inside and looking around the outside of NASCAR 1 and 2, and Austin Henry takes up. No! Austin Henry's off the track.
Mistakes. I told you, Austin, at the start of the race, we have to be very careful because mistakes are gonna be key in this race, and it's so easy to make them. There is no run of areas here. If you gonna make a mistake, you're gonna lose a lot of time, and we've seen a lot of our championship contenders having a lot of trouble. So we'll have to keep an eye on these few drivers because for sure they're gonna try to recover.
Recovery is definitely going to be the name of the game right now. It's so easy to make mistakes, so you just got to be consistent and safe, as some of these drivers have been absolutely fantastic at keeping out of harm's way. That would be Efren Castro. They're up 14 spots from where they started. And oh my goodness, we just had Skier, Randall Bryant, and Rob Farrell have gone off in a corner. I am not going to say it, but
Let's catch the replay of that because I've both flying into the wall. No safer barrier there. A big hit for both drivers.
And just look at the damage. Rob and Randall were so in a good positions, and now Castro is up 17 spots from where they qualified. They're sitting in 4th place right now.
Qualifying doesn't matter in this championship. We've seen plenty of drivers having huge recovery drives from the far back of the field. Meantime, we see still plenty of drivers falling down the order, towing down pit road, using their spare car, their fast repair, or just joining back now from their towing. We have seen also Eric Foss now making up a lot of positions. He's back in 15th after starting from pit lane.
Yeah, and Elliott Skier is up into 2nd after that unfortunate start of the race today.
Eric Foss here behind a little bit of damage for Michael Menella in the 4 car. He will be able to pass him very fast. Probably not here. It's not a very safe thing to do, even though he's very, very angry. As you can see from his headlights, he was blinking there. He was trying to distract the driver in the 4 car, and let's see if he goes around the outside, but too wide in many corners here, Austin, is not an option.
Yeah, like most American tracks, going too wide is very hard because the good old American road courses, they're side by side. They're built to accommodate cars going too wide. Watkins Glen is pretty much set the footprint for most American road courses. And like I said, this track was built with a bulldozer. It's 2 passes, all of each side, and that is standard American car length for racing tracks on road circuits. Very narrow, but very awesome side-by-side racing when you get cars just door to door with each other.
Kurt Swearingen here in the 17 car, 9th place for him. Now trying to run down Bart Collins in the 22. Right in front of him is only 3/10 ahead, so this will be also a nice battle to watch. I think Swearing has a little bit of damage on the left side, maybe a little tap, but the car seemed pretty much okay. So we've seen a lot of drive having issues, but they have kept it clean. And as we saw last time by with Eric Foss, Swearing is not happy to stay behind.
Yeah, Foss is probably doing some braking that Kurt is not used to, and he thinks it might be intentional in that way, but some people just have a different driving style than others. See the lights from Kurt just trying to get his advantage on him. He knows he's faster than a few of these corners, but Bart Collins is still in head, and it's all about position as we go all the way up to the front between Kurt Hunt and Elliott Skier. Elliott on a great recovery drive after that unfortunate start where both the leaders got went off track. Skier back into second. He's gaining on him in these Porsche GT3 Cup cars.
Oh yes, Kier is on a mission. He lapped almost 3 seconds faster than Kurt Hunt last time by. So he's definitely trying to run him down as fast as possible. But as we saw in lap 1, you never know. You have to keep it between the white lines, otherwise you're gonna lose definitely much more than 3 seconds per lap. As we are now on board with the driver of the 14 car, jumping on and down from the curves very aggressively.
Yeah, as they head into Snake, see a little bit of damage on the front left of Elliott Skier, probably from that start incident, but you get to see on how much smoother he is than Kurt Hunt through that section. And now, Elliott Skier, he's going to be taking it easy throughout the rest of this race at Old Oak Tree Corner because it is just so, it's so hard. Well, he just has bad memories here.
Oh yeah, for sure. After a big mistake like that, you don't want to do it again, so you are a bit more cautious. But it was cold tires and caught plenty of people off guard. So definitely now with warmer tires, he will be trying to push a little bit harder, even though now he's behind Hunt and he's trying to find probably a safer place to pass rather than just sending the car onto the inside. As we see here, Hunt is definitely a bit more fighting with the wheel.
Skier's got a great run through Mud Pit, but unfortunately, at the end of that corner, he had a check up and all of his momentum and speed just went out the window. And he's got another lap to follow. Kurt Hunt, he could dance on the gearbox all he wants and try to play some mind games, but as the time goes down, so does the time to make the overtake for the lead as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's not very nice to stick behind somebody for a lot of laps, but I feel like Elliott Skier has the chance to do that because he's definitely much faster than everybody around him, and the only car which actually can somehow compete with him are Eric Foss and Riley Dickinson, which are right nose to tail here for position number 12, battling it out with Tran, also for P11 and P10 with Lippo. So now they are trying to come through the field, they will be slowed down and
what a
still...
switchback from Eric Foss. Went down from the outside, down to the inside in the start of the Snake section, and he's jumped up into 11th as Riley Dickinson just makes his way up there, holding no prisoners as he flies through Snake. Back up front between Hunt and Skier. So they headed to roller coaster.
Yeah, for sure. It's incredible racing so far because we've seen so many aggressive passes, and the guys behind obviously have to do them because they have to gain as much as track position as possible. But let's go to the lead.
Here comes Skier looking down to the inside, and Skier flies past with all the speed going down to the front straight. Battle of the late breakers now, and it's going to be Elliott Skier ahead of Kurt Hunt with Austin Henry making his appearance right behind these guys. And where did Austin come from? He
Oh
wasn't even
yeah,
close to
in
him that entire lap.
obviously did a very good lap because he ran just a few tenths off the best lap of the race, and the two in front were battling it out really hard. And Hunt is a bit slower also than Superman Austin Henry, so it's gonna be interesting to see how this battle shapes out. But here we have the two drivers on a mission, fighting really hard side by side through this twisty section.
Yeah, Riley Dickinson, pole sitter, lap one, went off with skier at Old Oak Tree, had a bit of contact with the wall, had to go into the pit stop and repair his car, down into 12th, trying to regain all positions he has. He's in a battle with Eric Foss right now, who also was near the front, and he went off in the first lap as well.
Very difficult to pass here. It's you have to stay in line. We have Lipple in front here. This is the 230. Yes, indeed, in the tight car. Now they will be trying to get a run on the straight and see if they can get him up the hill. But it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. The draft is definitely there, but also Lippo has some help.
And looking up the inside is Foss, and Foss going for that switchback as Lippa goes
Probably
wide. There's a car around. That was Collins.
too much rear brake there. Very. Also, Lippo almost got to the rear bumper of Eric Foss, and now it's Dickinson trying to follow him because he needs to stick to Foss to try to gain as much time as possible. Fakes it through the outside, but he's too far to try to
Oh,
pass
but he's
him.
sending it into the brake zone, but it's a little bit too much, but can he get it for turn two? There's still door by door. We've seen Riley Dickinson do this move already in NASCAR 1 and 2, but he just doesn't have the room to get close to Clifton Lipple. But here he comes into the first hairpin, and what a move by Riley Dickinson. Swung it down to the inside, caught Lipple off guard, and Lipple goes off the track.
Yeah, very difficult to recover the car once you are sideways. There's no way you can get it back. You just need to relax, let it slow down, and make sure you can get it rolling all right, because otherwise you are just sliding right, left, and right all over the place. Meantime, you see here Patrick Wilmot in the 3 car, another driver who definitely was not fast in qualifying, but kept it clean so far, and he made the 14th position from the start. So he is now trying to defend from Randall Bryant, who is one of the drivers that had a little bit of issues at the start, lost a few positions, and now he's trying to catch at least a top 5.
Yeah, Patrick Wilmot, one of the biggest movers of this race, up 14 spots, as well as Efren Castro, who's up 17 spots from where they started. So we're looking at two of the biggest movers right now. But in this battle for 6th place, it's Wilmot and Bryant.
We remember Wilmot to be a very clean driver so far. He had lovely battles in the last few rounds. We've seen also, apart from a lot of mistakes or crashes so far, also very beautiful and clean battles. And he got a little tap,
Oh!
a little nudge, and he went around, but he keeps it tight. It didn't hit the wall. He has some damage on the back, but
Yeah, I got tapped right there. And
the
that
car
is
will
very
feel
unfortunate for
alright.
Patrick Wilmot. And now back up to the battle for second between Kurt Hunt and the Superman himself, Austin Henry, who storms past him faster than a speeding bullet down the back straight, heading into roller coaster. And Austin Henry, can he nail it down in the braking zone? Yes, he does. And now, how did Skier get a 6-second gap to these guys? in a lap?
Yeah, good question. Because, oh yeah, they just crossed the line now. We see now the times. Here's set at 48.47 time, the fastest lap of the race. And Henry and Hunt, 50 and 51. It's 3 and 4 seconds there.
Oh
That's
my
why.
goodness. Elliott Skier is lighting this track on fire. He qualified second, so you definitely know he definitely knows his way around the track and how to go fast here. He just has to keep it consistent to avoid Austin Henry behind him.
Indeed, it's not over yet. We have still almost half an hour left. So he needs to keep it steady, smooth and easy. It's the aim for Elio Skier. Meantime, we see
Whoa.
here almost a parking lot. Very slow moving cars. It might be 30 and Ferriol.
I'm not sure who that was.
Maybe we soon can see if we can catch what happened there. Maybe they were just trying to stay out of the leader's way.
I believe
Seemed
they
pretty
both had
odd.
a little bit of an incident. Like, I'm not sure who that was though. This was James Thursday and David Smith. So we see Smith. Yep, they got into each other. They both got off track right before Skier caught up to them. Down into the battle for seventh between Dickinson and Eric Foss.
They are working, not really working, but racing as a tandem. They are not giving each other space. Always one glued to the rear end of the other. Amazing. Let's see if Dickinson will try to pull out a move in the next few laps, or even at the end of this start-finish straight. But I guess they should try to work a little bit together and see if they can put some really good hot laps and try to catch the guys in front, because meantime we see another car very wide there, James Thursby again in the 16.
I'm also getting a reading that Patrick Wilmot. Oh, what has happened to Patrick Wilmot?
He towed back to pit road. Let's see if we can catch in the next few seconds a replay. There we go, perfect timing by our cameraman Dennis Branch. A bit too wide, a bit too hot. Let's see if he's gonna lock up or go around the exit.
Lock up.
Yeah.
And it's got caught in the ice skating rink. And that's 2 laps in a row, and he's just towed back to the pits.
He just had enough for the day. Either you love it or you hate it. It's there's no way to stay in the middle. Either one or the other side.
Exactly. And it's a long way. It's a long track to get towed back as Elliott Skier just crosses the front straight line right now as we just passed 20 minutes into this race. And we're looking at the battle for 8th place between Foss and Dickerson as they're just nose to tail with each other.
Another lap, same story. We have the IMSA WeatherTech car behind, trying to show himself in the mirror of Eric Foss championship leader, and doesn't seem like he is wanting to stay behind. Ooh, here the lap car gave a little bit of help to Eric Foss.
And Foss has a little bit of an over-rotation as he locked up going into the corner, but Riley Dickinson was unable to get onto the inside because that's where Foss's car was going. Riley is stuck behind that one lady at the grocery store who just won't go any faster, and he's just trying anywhere to do. Oh, and he gets tapped a little bit mid-corner. Riley Dickinson is definitely not happy. Stuck behind Eric Foss in this battle for 7th.
Well, we had everything in this battle. We only missed some argy-bargy, but we got it. So we can't ask for anything much than that. Great racing. Great also catch for Dickinson because it could end in tear there. And in the end, he just lost a few tenths. So for sure now in this back straight, he's gonna catch him back with the top.
Indeed, there are. And up in
Another
front of
car
them.
there in the background, a green car joining back from the grass. Very well-known trouble spot. The hairpin there, very difficult. Either entering or exiting is always very complicated.
See the dirt getting kicked up and by Bryant just ahead of these two. And now this is a 3-car battle for 6th place between Randall Bryant, Eric Foss, and Riley Dickinson. Eric Foss looking around the outside, and they storm past the struck car of Randall Bryant. And now this is the battle between these two for 6th place. Riley Dickinson's being held up mid-quarter, though, and that corner is just not his friend.
And Brian seems to have a little bit of damage at the front of the car, so this might affect him on the straight, but also maybe a little bit of handling. He didn't put up much of a fight, to be fair, so he might be trying to be steady and make sure he gets to the end. We see him all kind of damage, also on the left rear. As you can see, it's a bit bent, but Dickinson got clear of him, and now he's gonna try it again to close the gap on Fox, because if he keeps up in the draft, for sure he's gonna have a shot to get a top 5. If he doesn't, it's gonna be tough, because the draft obviously is helping a lot on this track. It's very fast.
You can see, oh my goodness, that was Kurt Swergen almost having a little bit of meeting with the tree right there. See what he cut that track hard.
They are race car drivers. They always try to cut the track as much as they can till they get a penalty. You know, it's what we do.
Finding the limit and then some, but you can see some damage already on his car, so he is stricken, as it looks like he took a nasty hit in the front left. And he was one of the cars that was involved in that opening lap crash.
Battles all over the place, to be fair. Very interesting. Even if we had only a 24 cars, doesn't mean that we won't have a lot of battles. It's a very tight field, and all these events following each other at the start shaped up such a strange standing so far, where we have a skier coming through and now leading by 12 seconds because he's putting an heck of a show and such incredible times every lap. And we have this inseparable couple of Foss and Dickinson trying to come through the field and fighting each other every lap. And also at the back here we have Lippon and Sweningen fighting it out already for a few laps. So for sure we are not gonna get bored today, Austin.
Oh, Lipple almost going off track right there. You said it. We are definitely not going to be bored here today, which is why I love this series so much. Every race that we've always had something to keep our eyes on, and it's never the same race.
We have a lap car in front of Lippel. Hopefully won't interfere much. It's Dimitri Kellner in the 12 car. He will be for sure trying to move to one side of the track to let them by and don't interfere in this battle, for sure. Meantime, let's see if Foss and Dickinson are trying to still gain a few seconds. Yeah, indeed, they almost turned 1.5 seconds faster than David Madden in the 11 car and also Efren Castro. So Madden is only 3-4 seconds in front, so he's a matter of a few laps, and the two drivers will catch P5. So for sure, Foss trying to limit the damage and make sure he gets still plenty of points, which after the first two races of the season are definitely big picture what he needs to think about.
It is a definite big picture indeed that you always have to have, but you always have to be heads up as we are already 3 rounds into this 6-round championship. So we're at the halfway point, so the bigger picture is kind of closing in, and you gotta have to kind of risk yourself at the ending rounds of this race, because next week we're going to be at Laguna Seca, followed by Road Atlanta, and we're finishing off this series at Sebring.
Let's see also if we can maybe go for a lap with Dickinson or Foss on board. Dickinson here, sending it to the inside.
Oh,
Oh!
and
Great
off.
timing for our camera. We catch the live
Foss is off
here.
too. Foss
Yeah,
is also off.
let's see if we can see the replay of this, because this is gonna jeopardize their efforts, because they lost so much time. It went a bit too hot.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness. Okay,
Foss,
Foss turned around and Dickinson went sailing off. I don't know who came out worse.
Foss is behind. Yeah, 1.7 seconds behind. Foss, to be fair, he did a masterful job there. We saw Dickinson come very, very hot, and he tried to stop as hard as he could to not get hit. And he managed to do so, but in the meantime, he locked the rear and went around. So in the end, Dickinson made the pass stick in a particular way.
Yeah, Dickinson definitely got past him. Not the cleanest pass, but it's a pass. That's Elliott Skier 20 seconds ahead of Kurt Hunt, who just got back ahead of Austin Henry, and Austin Henry is going slow as well. It looks like Austin might have some car damage.
We saw a car there in front of the leader.
Yeah,
going
8
a bit
seconds.
wide.
158 for Austin Henry. He lost a lot of time last lap.
Made a mistake. Let's see. Let's enjoy in the meantime also this beautiful onboard with Elliott Skier and see how precise he is with the wheel input, and how he just blends together all these S's, and he doesn't make a lot of corrections, which is with this car very, very easy to do. Smooth input.
Keeping it planted, keeping it smooth, and keeping his foot on the power. And, well, he's 20 seconds in the lead. I'm not surprised by that right now. Elliott Skier, just another level. So he puts another car a lap down. As we just enter 15 minutes to go here at VIR for the ACI GT3 Challenge.
I wish I could drive like this on this track.
You and me both.
Boy, this is a masterful work of art. Incredible driving by Elliott Skier. Not even with traction control and ABS would be able to do such a clean line. There's a reason why he's so up front. A bit of luck, to be fair, but he still made a mistake. Then probably got a bit lucky there because he didn't lose that much time. Just 7 seconds, a few positions, but then hell let loose and everything got torn apart from incident spins and all kind of battles. Definitely a very good job by Elios Kier. Meantime, we see here Superman, Austin Henry struggling a little bit. He had probably a little off because the pace last lap was alright, a 50.9, so still on pace to get a podium if he keep it clean.
And Henry, who went off 2 laps ago, was in second place, but fallen off and now under pressure by a car behind him. That is not Efren Castro behind him. That's a lapped car.
Yeah, Castro is
I
almost
don't
6
see any
seconds
damage on
behind.
Austin's car, though.
I think he just had a little hiccup and spun because we have no damage on his car, so he might just have made a little mistake. And if you spin in the right place, it's almost harmless. You only lose a few seconds because there is so much wide open grass and runoff area on this track that you can easily travel a lot of yards and still not finding any barrier. But if you spin in other section of the track, as soon as you spin, you'll find yourself in a wall of tires. It's unique.
We look back at Riley Dickinson all by himself now after that battle with Foss ended with both of them going off track and spinning around in turn 1. And it looks like Riley Dickinson is starting to pull away from Foss as he's been putting in consistently faster lap times. As this lap is a 150.4 as Eric Foss just puts in a 150.8. So 4/10 faster than Foss, but not near the speed of Elliott Skier, who last lap was a 148.56. No other car is below 150 seconds. Elliott Skier is 2 seconds faster than anyone else on track at this moment.
Indeed.
His fastest lap is only matched by 2 other cars. 2 to 3 cars. That's Rob Ferroli, Riley Dickinson, and Eric Foss. The only cars to get into the 148s. But still cannot catch him because Skier is putting in consistent 148 lap times. And I think we're going to see another one right here.
Oh, Madden went out of he's off. Let's see if he's recovering, but I saw him drop him back. So for sure he had a little mistake. Let's see. He clipped the grass. All right, there it was clean. Let's see if our trouble spot is again. Yes,
Oh,
you.
boom.
Oh, as we were talking earlier, if you make a mistake here, there's no way you can get away with it. If you do it
That
in other
was
places, you have plenty of time to recover the car and make it slow down, even though with this tire model, it's a bit of a challenge. He will get a nice spare car as soon as he joins now the very short pit road here at VAR.
Yeah, it is a short pit road. It's a slow pit road, but it is very short. And yeah, old oak tree. That wall is so close to you. If you aren't going slow enough or conservatively into there and you go off track, you're just going to smack that wall no matter what you try. And Elliott Skier can consider himself lucky on lap 1 for not having that much contact with the wall. And he's currently sitting up in the lead by 25 seconds.
Also, Bart Collins entered again pit road. He went already on pit road earlier on in 15th place. Let's see if he can continue or if he had a little mistake. Yeah, he's still coming out right now from the pit, so he will continue and keep his 15th position, trying to limp back onto the track and finish the race. Meantime, we saw the leader go by in his beautiful fashion and another 48.9, so incredible consistency. Meantime, Dickinson is oh,
Whoa!
we saw a bullet there.
That was Lin Tran.
Yeah, I think so. Or Hardy. I seen two cars going off the track there, but Lintran,
Well, this isn't
I
even
think
that corner,
I might
but
have been then
oh,
Hardy, so the other car.
yeah, they just did it at completely different. At the same time, at
Ah,
completely different parts of the track. Yeah, it
indeed,
was Dan Hardy.
uh, literally a bullet there. He just missed the breaking point and off he goes.
Oh. Now that
Well,
runoff area is miles long, and he avoids the wall. So that car is
incredible.
clean. It's just very dirty.
Yeah, for sure. And that, to be fair, what David Madden wanted, but he found only a wall of time. Ooh, Skier is
No!
around.
Your
He,
leader is around, but he's ahead by 26 seconds. He can get onto the track and not have to worry about car is not damaged. Skier just has to worry about consistency in this last 8 minutes.
yeah, it's
Last
gonna
7 minutes
be
too.
4 laps, I guess, from now to the finish. He will have to keep calm, not make mistakes, because now the tires are gonna be for sure. Ooh, another car parked on the outside of turn one there. It's gonna be tough because he's lead the tires there. So for sure they are gonna be super hot, and you know, Austin, that when tires with the new tire model go start to be very hot, it's very complicated to keep them on track. And Riley Dickinson here is on Ephraim Castro, only for
Castro,
10th.
Castro, the biggest mover in the field by miles, 17 places up. And one of those cars is the one behind him of Riley Dickinson, who is looking to make his storming way back through the field. But can he get past Efren Castro?
Yeah, Castro has been very consistent in Watkins Glen, finishing in a very good 8th position. Then definitely did not a very good race Road America last week. So he's bouncing back with a very good performance, even though he went a bit wide, and he's probably now letting through Dickinson because there's no reason to fight him, even though Dickinson went a bit too deep there. I thought he was going off there, but he managed to slow down the car at the last moment.
You and I thought exactly the same thing. It looked almost identical to lap one, where Dickinson just sailed away in Old Oak Tree and almost went having a little bit of a date with a tire wall right there. But Riley Dickinson makes his way up into fourth. Now 34 seconds behind Elliott Scare and 16 seconds behind of Austin Henry, who is caught up onto the back of Kurt Hunt.
Yeah, Austin Henry is not done yet, for sure. We're gonna have another interesting battle as Dickinson will obviously pull away from Castro if he doesn't make any mistake. We thank God have another battle now here. Hunt and Harry for P2. Meantime, Metnik goes by Lipol for P10. So Metni entering in the clutch moments into the top 10 into this race here at VAR. Austin Henry, who made a mistake, a costly mistake, where he lost 8 seconds. Now he's definitely trying to. Ooh!
Oh, Hunt goes around, and
He saves it.
he saved it out of the wall, but was shown the kryptonite from Austin Superman Henry, who re-enters back in second place.
And they literally exchange favors. Henry spun at the mid part during the mid section of the race, and Kurt Hunt spun in the final moments. Now they even, and they are right where they were 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, they were, but there's somebody in the mirror of Kurt Hunt, and that is Riley Dickinson. He sees the podium just 2 seconds ahead of him with less than 3 minutes to go here at VIR. The charge is on for a comeback of the century for Riley Dickinson in the lead. Lap 1 has to go into the pit to claw his way back up to get onto the podium. Can he do it in these 2 laps?
Indeed, Dickinson is gonna try his best. He's very fast. He's even faster than Elliot Skier. He will now probably just slow down his pace to make sure he will get to the end. Dickinson with a podium will definitely improve his chances for the overall standings, and trying to profit from the mistake of Eric Foss. But for sure, it's not gonna be easy. Ant is gonna try for sure to fend off any advance from Riley Dickinson, the man on a chart. Definitely the man who made the most posts after the first
Elliott
2-3
Skier's got
laps.
another off. Over
Yeah,
Oak Tree. So. 2 times in a row, Elliott Skier is off, and he is in the wall. The leader of the race is in the wall, and his gap is falling as Austin Henry is closing in on the stricken Elliott Skier. 10 seconds separates them. Now back to the battle for third. Heading into roller coaster, Riley Dickinson all up in that draft right now into the braking zone. Nose to tail, a little bit of nudging happening between these 2 cars as we go white flag racing here for the ACI GT3 Cup Challenge at VIR.
Dickinson is gonna try to pull the move here. Probably is gonna try to fake it around the outside. Oh no, he has plenty of speed. Let's see if he tries the switch back.
He can't switch back. He's right beside him, so it's going to be a late braking move or maybe a switchback move. And Hunt's parked it on the apex. And Riley Dickinson gave a little bit above, and now he's nosing his way down into the inside. Side by side into NASCAR 1 they go. And heading into NASCAR 2. And Kurt Hunt has defended that in the dirtiest way I could ever imagine. Just parking it on the apex. Dickinson went straight into him, and there are still 3 and 4, and that is some good old boy racing and defending as we head into the snake. Side by side, ladies and gentlemen. Hunt is around, and Dickinson's around as well.
I knew it was gonna happen. There's no way you can go too wide there. I don't know. But he made it stick, boy. Dickinson, very aggressive drive. What we had a blast with his recovery drive. I mean, we see here another spin, Foss.
Who's that?
And yeah, boy, I don't even know where to watch. Vintage, let's go to the leader.
We do know where to watch right now because Elliott Skier takes the victory here at VIR in one of the craziest last laps we have ever seen here. And the Superman himself, Austin Henry, up 5 spots to jump into second place. He's going to enjoy a little bit of the bubbly as Riley Dickinson is off, and Efren Castro, last corner, saves it for P3. I can't believe what I just saw.
Have you ever?
No, I cannot.
Oh boy. And let's get the dance rolling with the Demolition
Oh,
Derby.
Dickinson goes sky
Let's
high,
catch the replay
but
here. I completely
going
went wide.
into the mud pit. Castro's heart must have shot up out of his roof right there. He was so plus 18 spots to get a podium. Can you believe it?
Oh boy, boy, boy. I bet.
Castro,
Woo!
as Skier is getting cars flipped. You can see Dickinson just in the background, just sitting on his roof.
Yeah.
Austin Henry sitting in second place with Castro.
Well,
I don't.
someone who's gonna be very happy is Efren Castro for sure.
Oh yeah, he's the biggest mover in the field, up 18 spots from where he
Uh,
qualified. Austin Henry, he's very happy. Somebody who is not happy right there, Kurt Hunt and Riley Dickinson.
yeah,
Those two
indeed.
guys got a little bit argy-bargy with each other, and they unfortunately couldn't get the prize that they wanted. As we're seeing cars trying to drift across these turns right now.
Don't drive
Wow.
backwards to some.
Oh!
Oh!
Is
Kurt's
that a
wearing
burn?
it.
Is that a play? No, that was the Superman himself, Austin Henry, taking off and leaving this planet.
Indeed, it was. Well, are we trying to set a new world record for highest jump in history of iRacing today? Because we are seeing a neck of a tryout here.
It definitely is. Well, before we are just spectating a load of just rubble on the grass, I think we should cover the results of this
Indeed.
insane race. Elliott
Boy,
Skier takes the win ahead of Austin Henry, Efren Castro, Eric Foss, Kurt Hunt, Randall Bryant, Kurt Swearigan, David Madden. Riley Dickinson finishes in 9th. Did he get a penalty or something?
might well be, yeah. I think he did. He couldn't have lost so many positions.
Yeah, he came across the line in 4th, but he might
Yeah,
have
in
got
fourth.
a post-race penalty, followed by Alan Metney, Clifton Lipple, David Moore, Lynn Tran, David Smith, Michael Manella, Richard Edge, Bart Collin, Dimitri Kellner in 18th, followed by Dan Hardy, Rob Ferriol, Patrick Wilmot, James Thursbury, Grant Talkie, and Tom Kerr at the end of the grid. And wow.
I can firmly state that Riley Dickinson got a penalty because he went above the 20, sorry, incident limit
Oh, and he didn't do the
point, and
drive-through
he didn't do the drive-through.
because it was on the last lap. Oh, knife, meat, heart, and tear it out. Oh my goodness. Riley Dickinson not going to even see 4th place, and he's going to finish down in 9th.
Yeah, the drama still before even the starting the pace lap with Eric Foss going back to pit road, starting from pit road, and then we had drama post race because we had Riley Dickinson in the 53 car not serving his drive through, probably because he had this issue at the end and got a black flag right on the last lap. So
26 incident points for Riley Dickinson. He got that last one right at the end. Oh, that is just unfortunate for Riley right there. But very fortunate for Efren Castro and Eric Foss, who they thought they lost the top fives out of there. They thought they lost the podiums, but no, at the end of the race, they get the podiums that they really wanted to with in round 3 of 6 here for the ACI Motorsports GT3 Cup Challenge.
Austin, can we
Wow.
get a race too?
Can I get a race too?
Yeah. Reverse grid. Let's go another one because I had a blast.
Honestly, I would be so excited for another one, but unfortunately, we cannot have another one because we don't go back to back in this series like we um unlike other series, but we will be back next week at Laguna Seca for another crazy round for the ACI Motorsports GT3 Cup Challenge. We've been joined by Dennis Branch, who's been giving you all these wonderful replay. He's been working that replay button today
Oh
like a
yeah, for
champ.
sure. Yeah, plenty of job to do. Not an easy task to follow us here, Dennis.
Well, he's going to get a well-deserved rest tonight. And thank you, Alessandro, for joining me in the commentary booth. I'm Austin Knight. Thank you all for joining us here on Apex Racing TV for the ACI Motorsports GT3 Cup Challenge. Y'all have a good night.